Everywhere I go online, I see men and women both complaining about relationships in today's day and age. But if we really put our heads together about this whole situation, what contributes the main problem? Is it men subscribing to the red pill content that's happening online? Or is it women subscribing to the pink pill content that's happening in today's day and age? Is it the sprinkle, or is it the high value man? Welcome to Point of Perspective, a place where I hope that my truth is not your lie. And I really do feel like this is the type of conversation that we have to have a discussion on, because there's so many people that's operating off of so many things that's happening up here when it comes to relationships. Is it trauma? Is it selective traditionalism? In your honest, humble opinion, what are the issues in today's day and age when it comes to these relationships failing? Or when it comes to people having a hard time dating because of, is it preferences? I kind of want to deep dive on this and just let my thoughts out when it comes to this subject. And don't get me wrong, it is interesting to me as well, but the answer is why? What is in the essence of what's causing these relationships to fail? As a disclaimer, I just want this to be known that I am no expert, I am no guru, I am no coach. I'm just a man with an opinion. And with my 41 years of experiences, I would like to project some of these opinions. And maybe it might resonate with you, or you might disagree and you want to let me know. I feel that selective traditionalism is one of the main things, in my opinion, I could be wrong, that's causing a lot of these relationships to fail. So I'm gonna start from the man side since I'm a man, right? Often we can't ask for old school energy from women to be calm and submissive and all this other stuff when we're not trying to be on our masculine energy. And yes, I know it sounds cliche. Don't get me wrong. And I do feel 100% that a man should always be in his masculine and a woman should always be in her feminine. I don't think those things could be selective. But always remember, if you want to get that old school vibe, you got to be able to give that old school vibe. And that's basically what it is. Like, we can't pick and choose and be selective on when we're going to do it. If it's part of you, it's part of you. Always be your authentic self. And ladies, we also can't ask men to provide like it's 1955, especially since times is different right now. Don't get me wrong, if the dude gotta like that, then he gotta like that, and that's dope. But at the same time, when certain people want certain traditional values, are you willing to give it? I think that's a question for both sides that I have to ask, because that's one of the main reasons why a lot of these dates be failing, because some people will want traditional things but also act modern. And I think it's kind of hard, don't get me wrong, because we do act differently depending on the situation. But at the same time though, is it going to stick? Is it going to resonate with the other person that you're dealing with? I feel like the second reason why a lot of modern day relationships is also failing is because a lot of people are afraid to ask the tough questions while in that talking phase. And I kind of want to break that down a little bit too. There'll be certain times where a person, it can be man or woman, right, will see something from the other person, won't like it and won't say anything. And then they'll wait until they explode at a later date. Not only does that seem to be toxic, but it's good to get things off your chest as soon as possible so you can nip that in the bud. Ladies, if a man is telling you that he got certain hobbies and you know you wouldn't like that in the long run, I think y'all should have that conversation right then and there. Fellas, if you're dealing with a woman and you feel like, okay, after we started talking, I noticed that she goes out to the club or to the bar 5 nights a week, you should let it know, nip it in the butt. Don't wait until later on for you to approach these situations, and then that's going to make her think like, yo, how come you didn't mention this in the beginning? This is who I am. This is how you met me. Even though sometimes when it comes to both sides, it's not exactly how you met them. But another thing is, too many people bring their representative up front, and then that's when you see their true sides later on, and that can throw somebody completely off. So learn how to have these conversations in terms of anything that might feel a little uncomfortable, because the thing is, you're not always operating off of insecurities. Sometimes you have some boundaries. Just make sure that your boundaries is not controlling. And also, for this reason, for the love of God, right? Do not walk into a relationship projecting your favorite talking points from your favorite social media content creator, which could be detrimental to you. What are the things that you want in a relationship? Because fellas, if you're listening to a dude that's online, right, especially when you know that, or you might assume his heart's not in the right place, or he's not a product of what he's living, right?
This might be controversial. I think a guy needs to be 35 years old, had sex with 50 girls, making 6 figures a year.
Certain double standards that people preach it just doesn't feel realistic. So stick to realistic expectations, and then I think that you'll be fine. And ladies, you can't listen to some of these sprinkle women and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. If it works for them, it works for them. But do you know if it'll work for you?
You say he called you lazy for not washing the dishes? Call him broke for not hiring a maid to wash the dishes and see what happens.
If the answer is no, then you might want to highly reconsider changing your game plan. changing your strategy, because the definition of insanity is oftentimes people don't want partners. They want emotional ATMs. Swipe in, get the validation, and then leave when the balance is too low. That's something that you got to be very careful about. Some of y'all are not healing. You're just hiding with the use of better vocabulary, because so many people is now on this healing train, but you got to understand that healing is tough. And sometimes when it comes to healing, is being involved with somebody that you can be vulnerable with so you can see certain other areas that you need healing in. Let me know if you disagree with that. And I also feel that too many of y'all, or maybe I should say us, right? Yeah, I think that'll be better, because I have to include myself in this as well. Well, not really, not this part. I feel that there's not enough grace and there's too much ego. And when you approach the situation with ego, then you're not going to see everything clearly, because so many individuals are not taking accountability for the reasons why that they mess up. So many other individuals is quick to call somebody a narcissist or this person's bipolar, and using a bunch of buzzwords to try to make the other person feel bad. And that's what men and women. And the thing is, we have to learn how to come together, sit in this seat, and be like, yo, these are my issues, and this is also what's wrong with me. Now, I'm going to try my best not to project with this one, because I know this is huge. And I know so many people that know me, they hear me speak about this all the time, right? So my thing is, please stop having expectations that you cannot meet yourself or equivalent to. To me, that is a huge one. And I think that's another reason why so many people is becoming bitter. They're seeing people on these dates, and then they're like, yo, that joint sounds crazy. Where did they do that at? I'm not doing that as well. Come on now. So if you're expecting for somebody to be honest, you be honest. If you want somebody to be faithful, you be faithful. That's one of the other double standards that a lot of talking points be talking about in today's day and age. I'm not spending my money on this. I'm not doing that. Or this person got to be able to check in with me, but I don't got to check in with them. And I should be able to do something on the outside, and they can't do anything on the outside. Live up to your own expectations. So if you feel it's okay for you to do something, then it should be okay for them to do something as well. You can't be a person that will heart photos on IG and leave comments, and then you're making posts over here on Facebook or sharing memes on Instagram talking about how your significant other can't do it, but then again, you're over there doing it. Nah, I don't think any man or woman should have that whole mindset, because I think that right there, once again, detrimental to you, because then that person's going to start feeling resentment, and then they're going to want to leave your ass. They're not going to want to stick around, because how can you sit there and do something that you set forth as a boundary, and then when the other person does it, you're heated, you're mad, you're pissed off, or you're even venting online about it, but then you're actively doing that same thing? It makes no sense. And that's another reason why a lot of people is turning their backs on relationships or even leaving relationships, because they feel that unfairness is a no-go. If I was to give any of y'all any advice to close this video, is when it comes to today's modern times, find somebody that you're compatible with. And in order for you to know who you're compatible with, you have to start learning more of yourself. Don't operate off of what everybody else is saying. Don't get me wrong. If certain things resonate with you, that's great. Fantastic. I say go for it. But a lot of you just hear something or see something that sounds good, and then you discover that you want it for yourself. To me, it's no different when we was little kids, right? We saw that dope commercial on TV of a toy that we want, and then we'll be like, oh my God, like the way that person's playing with that toy, I want it. And then when you get it, and start collecting dust, because after 15 minutes of playing with it, it goes into the toy box, never to be touched again. So start to discover yourself. Know what you want truly, not off of what everybody else is saying, but off something that will work for you, something that will make you happy, that's something that's not superficial. Everybody wants a connection, but nobody wants the inconvenience. And I feel that's also the reason why a lot of y'all's not ready for real love, because you wouldn't know what to do with it when it does land into your lap, because there's going to be so many different type of roadblocks that's stopping you from connecting with it. And that can be from your own trauma, or that can be from things that you're hearing online, or people telling you what you should get, instead of you knowing, this is what I want, this is what will make me happy, this is what I want to wake up to every morning and go to sleep with every night. And also, do me a quick favor. Before you dip out, if you're feeling my message, or if you made it this far, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't. And I know I haven't asked anybody to do that in a long time. And also, be willing to check out this video. I'm trying to point to the right thing. Check out this video over here, or whatever pops up on the screen. Show your boy some love. Appreciate it.